Gonna look at the trade of the day today, and it's gonna be NVIDIA. It was all about finding a key level. As always, it's brought to you by Day Trade the World. And when I say there was a key level, sometimes you don't have to look too far when you zoom out on these puppies. NVIDIA, this is a 15-minute chart. Just want to show you, last time we sort of got out of that 150 range and broke down. You can see a little bit of a gap down. And back there at the first of the month, wake up. 145 was your resistance level. So we come in, and after Friday, when 145 was rejected on the high, nice hold at the bottom. If you want to look at nice support, gapping into that 145. So at the open, we have a classic case of, well, we've come right up to this resistance level. If it doesn't break it, then I want to look for the short, right? So I'm just thinking about the fact that if we hold this, we're going to have room to the downside. I'm not thinking you go down to 132, that level on the daily chart, but it sets us up for that classic pop and fade. I don't want to say unfortunately, but unfortunately, at about 8 o'clock, it tests this level, gets up to 145, and rejects it, and you're trading down around that 144 at the open, which obviously makes it tricky and a bit frustrating because what will happen here is I don't want to be short at that low at the open. I'm essentially looking for this to come back in and give me an entry off of that high of the day. This comes down to sometimes you've got to be willing to miss the trade to make the trade because a lot of times you chase it, you put the short on down here, and are you going to hold a 143.70 all the way when it retests that dollar against you? Yeah, maybe you will. I'm not looking for that. So we are fortunate enough at 9:30 to allow the price to come to us. It bounces up. I'm able to take a 144.60 and change, better relative risk up to that 55 area, and then start working it down. It comes right into that 144. We open, I take a lot out there, and then it comes another leg down into this 143. Now, when we snap back off that level, you have to consider the context of what was going on in the overall market. The NASDAQ was actually booming at this point and looking like we're strong to the upside. We're heading to that 1% plus type of day when NVIDIA was testing one of those snap lows. And if you've been watching the market recently, a lot of times we've seen this, where you get these wipeout bottoms and a race back to the start. Noticing that trend, I'm just going to get out, and the market was strong, and I should have at least thought about maybe find a chip name that I like to the long side, but I wanted to stick with the short. So I wait around for it to come back to my price and then miss this trade. And this is the key. I missed the re-entry off the same price we got at 9:30. Do not catch it here, sitting a little bit higher, and there's your dip. It pulls VWAP, it breaks VWAP, puts in a higher low. That's your secondary play. I'm never thinking it's going to be as good as the first, but I want to be involved in it. So we make a huge mistake here. One of the things I always say is, if you miss the trade, don't jump back in and chase that lost money, which is exactly what I did. It comes screaming up, higher low put in, break out of that range, and then run to the top. I get in on the way in, only to be stopped out. That's no good of a trade. But what comes next always makes sense to me, and that should only be two shorts here, maybe that third one in there, but it's the wick top, breaking that high, and then reclaiming it almost instantly and rejecting that breakout high. So very similar to a wick bottom, a wick top is simply a rejection of that breakout, trapping some longs or trapping shorts when it's on that low, and you're jumping right back into the short position, or in this case, it should have been just jumping into it and not taking that trade. Context is the market was still strong at this point, so we're anticipating a VWAP type play here when I'm making that play off the top. Comes into VWAP, we get most of it out. I do hold some for this level, that same 143 half area, anticipating there'd be a little bit of a hold. So I probably gave NVIDIA way too much credit here for being a little bit stronger, didn't hold on to enough there, get it all out, and then try to play back in on a trail, holding to that low. We end up getting trailed out, getting greedy when it was breaking the low, re-entering into a small short that we didn't really give a lot of room during the lunchtime. But the key thing is here, NVIDIA ended up being a great stock short off of those levels. But I always look back to what could I do better, and it's very plain and simple. Once this second short was missed, this one, it's not just that it's an emotional trade, it's I've missed my short. It just went to VWAP. I should have had that buck. Sit back, wait for the next trade. Don't jump in early. Wait for the actual setup. You can like the price area, but it was clear it wanted to test that high. Ultimately failed it, but I didn't need to be stopped out at that high. Still, NVIDIA was a fantastic day for me on the stock because we were able to catch the last short. But you've always got to think about how can I do better. Every day is a new day in the markets. As always, Trade of the Day brought to you by Day Trade the World. Get that capital you need to express trades like this.